Welcome to this week's Pavilion Ponder, where I'm talking about fight, flight and frustration. This week's ponder has been triggered by a conversation with a friend who is fighting for something really important at the moment. At what point do we consider whether to calm down the emotions that accompany frustration or to roll with them? As a change management practitioner, I'm no stranger to change. We think of change as being a linear process. So we have denial, anger, blame, confusion, acceptance, and finally problem solving. It's all part of our natural adaptation to change. Of course, there's fluctuation between the phases. The dip of the change curve is well documented, so this phase of change is where we're most likely to feel disengaged. I feel that fight or flight gets a really bad press. There are lots of articles that are telling you how to conquer your fight and flight response and to suppress it, but I'm not sure that that's a really good idea. The fight response is a natural emotion and it is going to help us propel us towards our goals. Flight is also super useful. Flight's there to help protect us from stressors that are too overwhelming. It's helping us to keep track in terms of where we are in our own boundary setting. Anger and frustration, when used constructively, drive conversation and debate, and that opens us up to new opportunities, options and possibilities. In my friend's situation, the ongoing fight has actually led to some significant changes. There's been an improvement in the service provided. The emotion of fighting is energy intensive, and so it's really hard to sustain that for days, weeks, months and sometimes years. Persistent negotiation is exhausting and stressful. Today's ponder: is it all worth it? The energy and the exhaustion and the stress that entering into a fight mode can bring us. Ultimately, yes. When we embrace or deal with anger or frustration, it does lead to better cooperation, negotiation and collaboration. If you have a clear goal and you have set boundaries and you're open to alternatives, then the energy expelled in that fight process is worth it. So in the workplace, change management programs that don't acknowledge the frustration and anger that is a natural part of the change process become very difficult places to be. Simply, we need to create space to disagree. The way in which we deal with frustration and anger is essential for our growth and our learning. So here's a technique. Next time that you are dealing with anger and frustration emotions, I want you to think about the 3 positive associations of those words. So we're looking at cooperation, collaboration and negotiation. Are you really open to cooperation? Have you sat down and have you considered what your win-win situation looks like? Do you know what the other party's win-win situation looks like? And on change programs, that's not just one party, but many stakeholders. And finally, how can you and your team do things differently? And who can help? Have you got all of the right people around that virtual or physical table? Sometimes walking away can feel like failure. But once you've exhausted all of your creative options, and if it seems likely that there's going to be a lose-lose situation, then maybe it is better to take that energy that you've been expending on the fight and putting that into a different or new avenue.